Hi, everybody. I'm Jen Murray, Marketing Director at TechDiversity Foundation, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be hosting our very special check in as part of the 10th anniversary celebrations of the TechDiversity Awards. So, we're taking a look back and reconnecting with some remarkable individuals who've helped shape this movement, our past award winners. Today, I'm speaking to one of our incredible winners from the 2024 Tech Diversity Awards that reshaped how we think about early STEM education. It was a world's first industry and academia STEM co teaching model for the early childhood children aged 3 to 5 years. So please join me in welcoming Aishwarya Kansakar, 2025 Young Australian of the Year for Victoria, multi-award winning AI and automation engineer, founder, changemaker, COO of Women for STEM, and a global role model in the STEM space. So Ashwari received a Tech Diversity Award in 2024 for co-developing the world's first STEM co-teaching model for early childhood, alongside Professor Marilyn Fleer, Sir John Monash Distinguished Professor, and the team at Monash University. So we're beyond proud to call her part of the Tech Diversity alumni. So welcome.
Thank you so much, Jen. It's such a pleasure being back here. Thank you.
Oh, brilliant. It's so great to have you here. And thank you so much for your time because I can see that you've been pretty busy of late. So we'll get straight into just some five simple questions. I suppose, firstly, can you tell us a little bit about your 2024 nomination into the awards and what inspired it?
Absolutely. So in 2024, I received the Tech Diversity Award for Education with my team and Monash CPW and the most amazing Professor Marilyn Fleer, Sir Distinguished John and Professor Marilyn Fleer. We had developed a world first co-teaching model for early childcare for children as young as 3 to 5 years of age, teaching them the most complex STEM concepts, specifically in automation engineering, manufacturing engineering, and industrial automation, so the most complex fields. We were teaching them concepts from postgraduate level, so design for manufacturing, lean manufacturing, data analytics, and these young children were giving us the concepts back. They were able to teach it back to us by the end of the program. Um, we spent about 10 months designing the program. And to your question of how it came about, I think it started off at a International Women's Day event at United Nations, where the theme for that year was digital, which is digital inclusion and equity for everyone. Lots of speakers and participants were talking about how there's a lot of inflection and drop-off points for women in STEM, which is leading to women just comprising about 28% of the STEM workforce. And when we did some more research, we realized that these inflection points were at different points of the women's careers. And it was also at the beginning of the career, even when they were making decisions of whether to pursue STEM or not. And while we were, discovering that, Professor Marilyn Fleer mentioned that her research at CPW has showcased that girls are making STEM career decisions as early as 3 to 5 years of age, which was quite shocking, right? You would never think that someone as young as 3 years of age would be making career decisions, whether consciously or unconsciously. Um,
Mhm.
so from that conversation came this model. So we spent the next 10 months designing this model with industry. So people from my company, we had engineers dedicating time, volunteering to design this model alongside the conceptual play world team at Monash University and Professor Marilyn Fleer, who is a globally renowned expert in this field. And together we designed this model, executed it, and it had amazing results. So we've been able to impact over 40,000 young girls now through this model, and 3,500 educators across Australia have been impacted by this model. So yeah, couldn't be more grateful for the conversations that started at that event. And that's the power of events, right? And tech diversity is
Mm.
another. So I think it's a very, very important platform to be a part of.
That's amazing. Really, really good. I've one important question. 3 to 5 years old. It must have been an amazing initiative to keep them seated, interested, and engaged. Because as a mother, I know that can be really hard, but obviously the passion is there, right? So they're going to sit still, and you've obviously created something that really interests them and keeps them engaged.
Yeah, and I think the fact that we had the play world concept, the conceptual play world, where the students were immersed in a imaginative play world state, and they were role playing their roles
Amazing.
as being engineers. So some of the children were chief elf engineers. So I was the chief elf
Brilliant.
engineer. They were my chief elf engineering assistants, and they were my support system. We had dedicated roles for each elf engineer because we
Hmm.
were following the storyline of elves in the shoe factory. Um,
Okay.
yeah, so
Brilliant.
their task was to to create shoes for a Christmas order because my factory had burnt down. So they were basically playing along the storyline, and I think that really helped us keep them engaged and really helped
Amazing.
them emotionally, mentally engage with the content and
Hmm.
understand everything in depth. So this play world research that we've done has now gone into shaping Australia's federal government's first programmatic research in this field. And it's now backed by $3.2 million in Australian Research Council funding. So,
Hmm.
yeah, it's definitely doing some amazing things through a lot of support. But it all
Hmm.
started with an idea. So,
Amazing.
yeah, very, very happy that it's all coming along.
And the fact that you have that support and that funding really is a testament to the project, but also that, you're getting that support from a wider, from the government. And that's what's really important within education, right? It just can't be in isolation. You do need to, have that support to bring it further. You have actually answered the other questions that I was going to ask you in terms of how has it evolved. I mean, you mentioned 40,000 participants so far that it's been rolled out across, which is absolutely amazing. So the impact that you've had, which was one of my questions, on the wider industry, that's quite obvious from what you said.
Yeah.
So, just getting straight to the question of, in terms of winning the Tech Diversity Awards, what did it mean to you personally and also to your team?
I think I'd just like to add one thing on the impact aspect. Um, we didn't expect this, but we also ended up having global impact. We didn't design the program for global impact. I guess things just roll in certain ways. So we were invited last year to the Australasian Society of Science and Education and Research Association, the ACERA 55 conference in New Zealand to present this model to over 200 academic scholars globally on a global stage. We were also invited to Netherlands in Rotterdam at the International Society for Cultural and Historic Activity and of Research, the ISCAR conference. And there was over 350 scholars from 30 countries who were learning about this model and willing to adopt this model across the world. I got to actually present alongside emeritus professors from Oxford University and from Copenhagen University. So Professor Marianne Haggard and Professor Anne Edwards, alongside Professor Marilyn Fleer. So I feel like these are world-renowned leaders in this space, and it takes a lot of research to be able to showcase Aussie innovation alongside such amazing legends at a global stage and getting global buy-in from academic scholars from so many countries. So I think this has gone way beyond what we imagined it to be. It's gone global beyond national. So yeah, I can't wait to see this being rolled out in schools across the world.
That's amazing. And we'll be keeping a close eye on you as well. It's so great just to see the impact that, the nominations that we get in. We do keep an eye on, the journey of the individuals and the organizations that have submitted to the awards. So, in terms of the future, I mean, what's next for your DEI journey? Do you have any other exciting projects? It sounds like you have your hands full at the moment, but, what have you planned for the future?
Yeah, so at the moment, we're looking at rolling out more curriculums, if possible, potentially in the automation space, because there's different streams within industrial automation. just trying to grow the program as much as possible, exploring expansion to countries like Fiji, Indonesia, Nepal was in the pipeline up until last year. And we just want to keep pursuing that and pushing that because these countries would really benefit from such a model. You know, majority of people being left out when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to STEM education are
Mm-hmm.
minority backgrounds, you know, CALD,
Mm-hmm.
BIPOC backgrounds. So we really want to make more room and more space for people from all ethnicities, all socioeconomic backgrounds, all financial backgrounds. And that's just going to be the focus for us moving forward. And to your previous question on how I feel about winning this award, I think it was so important for us to be able to do this because it put us in front of sponsors, it put us in front of industry partners. You know, after the event night when the project was announced on stage, there was a lot of people who came to us saying, we'd love to try this in our school, we'd love to try this in our community, you know. So
Wow,
I
that's
feel like
great.
that is the kind of exposure we could really have benefited from, and we did. And
Mm-hmm.
anyone else, you know, getting this award could definitely benefit from it. So I really encourage people taking these type of platforms seriously because it brings in a lot of benefits, and a lot of relationships. So even if you don't look at transactional benefits, you'll make a lot of relationships in the industry that can come in handy. So yeah, that's in the pipeline, and we want to keep growing those relationships, keep growing those partnerships, and getting more students to study STEM.
And I think that's inspiring for us. The grassroots level is really important. I mean, you know, the research that we've done recently with our Tech Reflects study, which looks at the Australian workforce. I mean, so, you know, some of the revelations really in terms of, you know, people do believe that in DEI, obviously, and the impact that it can have. But obviously, looking really to the future, and our theme actually for this year for the awards is, you know, it's around the future, framing DEI futures. It's really important to go to grassroots level. I mean, I even see it here in Ireland in terms of education. When it comes to tech learning, it's usually done on an ad hoc basis, and it's usually a parent that actually wants to bring it into the school. So it's, you know, the fact that you've actually managed to get the support from education and government is a testament to you guys. And we really am hoping to see you over here in Ireland as well, which would be absolutely brilliant. But just back to your point with the awards, I think you're right. I mean, the audience that we attract is very varied. We have people from government, education, business, senior leaders as well from the tech sector. You know, it's really important that we have that diversity within the audience as well, so that we get those discussions going. And you know, people learn from each other. You know, they see what other organizations are doing, what universities are doing, and it's important for them to just get that exposure, right? Because we're sitting at our desks all day, and it's just great to take that time out, you know, to
Yeah,
learn about what's going on out there.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah.
And I feel like this whole model was built on cross cross development and transdisciplinarity between different fields.
Hmm.
You know, we as engineers came together with academics, with teachers, with early childcare centers, with students of different ages to design this model and execute it. And I feel like the audience, like you mentioned, at Tech Diversity, the diversity of that audience itself
Yeah.
could birth so many other things like this, you know, more innovations, more models. Like you never know what comes out of these type of platforms. So I think it's very good that you focus on that diversity, and I encourage everybody to make use of that, and also do something great with those relationships, you know, because there's a lot of potential there.
Super. Well, I think that's it for now. I want to thank you so much for coming. And it was great to talk to you. I don't know if you'll make the awards this year, but you know, we may be, we certainly cross paths again. So just for anybody watching this video, I'm just putting here, there's some details there around the Tech Diversity Awards. So you'll be able to see, sorry, just here. There we go. So it's coming up in August. We're actually at 50% capacity at the moment, but we still have tables available if you want to bring your team. So it's a great activity to bring along your team to actually, you know, showcase DEI or to learn from other people as well. You can also attend as an individual. So we've had over 100 DEI initiatives submitted so far. So we've really smashed our targets with the amount of projects that have been sent in. We've 40 judges working on those nominations right now, so going through them. So please come along. And it's extra special this year because we're celebrating the 10th anniversary. And our theme, as I said, is framing DEI futures. So I really appreciate your time, Ash. And yeah, I hope to see you again soon.
Likewise. Thank you so much, Jen.